Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our spaces this evening. My name is Terry Anchebet, a communications practitioner, a business journalist background, currently consulting in many interesting spaces, including sustainability, global financial infrastructure, as well as climate finance. And I really do enjoy moderating conversations that are forward thinking, that take us as an economy and as a country forward. So I am looking forward to a conversation this evening. The title and the theme for our conversation is Growing Towards Customer Excellence. I will be speaking with Julia Sairo, who's a Chief Commercial and Customer Officer at Kenya Airways. The aim of this space is now Customer Service Week, as we all might already know, is an internationally recognized event held during the first week of October. Now, this week is dedicated to appreciating the importance of excellent customer care and, of course, recognizing the contributions of service staff who provide exceptional experiences. Customer Service Week presents an opportunity to look at KQ's overall service offerings and customer touchpoints with a view to explain the thinking behind them. A little brief about Mwango Capital, who's the host of the spaces. Mwango Capital is a research company that leverages digital media to share information on East Africa's financial markets. Mwango Capital seeks to inform investors about what organizations and firms do and helps them digest company financials and business news. Mwango Capital does this through thorough research. For those of us who follow Mwango, you must have seen that high quality media productions and narratives based on facts and opinions from experts. Mwango Capital also has a newsletter, which is out every week. They do host Mwango Spaces and send out one of my favorites, which is Mwango Memes every Saturday. So just a quick look at what Mwango Spaces has done in the past, especially in regards to Twitter Spaces. They have hosted incredible quality of thought leaders such as INM Bank Regional CEO Kehara Maina, a Bank of Kigali Group CEO Dr. Diana Karusisi, Standard Chartered Health of Wealth Management Paul Njoki, Centum Investments Company CEO Dr. James Moria, Flametree CEO Hiril Bangera, MTN Uganda CEO Wim Valhaput, Institute of Economic Affairs CEO Kwame Owino, among others. We'll quickly get into our conversation with Julius. First of all, Julius, good evening and happy Customer Service Week.
Good evening, Terry Ann. Happy Customer Service Week to you and the audience. Really glad to be joining this Tuesday evening.
Thank you so much, Julius. Perhaps you can just tell us a little bit about your role. What does a day-to-day look like for a Chief Commercial and Customer Officer at KQ?
Thanks, Terry Ann. Again, Julia Thyro, Chief Commercial and Customer Officer with Kenya Airways, an aviation leader with 20 plus years in the industry. I've had the privilege of working in 3 different continents. I've worked in Asia, I've worked in Europe, and of course, I've worked in Africa for many years. And I'm very passionate about aviation industry, and particularly so in Africa because of the impact it has on everyone, on uplifting livelihoods within the continent and the opportunities it offers to the continent. I'm also very passionate about customer and customer excellence. Really, you cannot succeed as any business if you do not put customer. My role has 2 facets. I'm responsible for end-to-end customer experience, and I'm also responsible for driving revenues and growth for the company. And I travel a lot. How do my typical day look like when I'm not traveling? It's normally a long day. I divide my day into sort of 3 parts. The morning part would be I start by just looking at customer feedback, immediate issues. I review market. I look at trends, what's happening in the markets, because all this would probably need my immediate decision or immediate action. Then the second part of my day is spent in many meetings, and these meetings are to drive projects, to drive strategies, any customer or revenue initiatives that we have, to also look at data. So a lot of cross-functional meetings with different departments to make sure that we're both driving revenue and customer initiatives. And then the afternoon or the third part of my day, I normally spend it meeting stakeholders. So this could be customers, it could be companies that we work with, it could be partner, it could be supplier. And I normally just end the day looking at how we've performed. So reviewing key performance indicators, targets, or things that didn't do well, and planning for the following day. So that's like my typical day when I'm not traveling, but I'm very passionate about aviation and what I do.
That's quite a packed day, and I can only imagine how much more busy this week must have been. We're just getting to the middle of customer service week. Tell us a little bit about what KQ has been up to and what activities are planned for the rest of the week.
This tends to be a very exciting time for us when we are celebrating and commemorating Customer Service Week. It involves, of course, a lot of preparations. It is because we always want to make it fun for our staff and fun for our customers. So we normally have a number of engagements and activities lined up with the key aim. First is to, of course, appreciate our customers who've been loyal to us, who've been supporting us. And then two is to appreciate and engage our frontline staff who are so critical in ensuring that we deliver an excellent service. So a typical day will involve, especially the leadership team, being on the ground, working alongside our staff, meeting customers. For example, yesterday we kicked the customer service week in the morning with our CEO, Alan Kilavuka, at the airport, boarding the flights to Johannesburg. So he spent time with customers, handed out chocolates, candies, flowers, hampers, and we have all these kind of activities across the whole week. We also internally engage with teams. We'll have cakes where we meet teams and we celebrate what we've been able to achieve in the year. And this culminates at the end of the week. You will probably see, just like you saw last year, part of our leadership team also get on the flight and become part of the service crew, in-flight crew, and they will serve our customers from point A, from here Nairobi to a destination that I am not revealing now. But it's normally so exciting and so humbling for us to really be able to walk and experience what our staff do experience. And of course, also engage customers directly and also get direct feedback, and some very good feedback, but also some tough feedback, but feedback that we need to hear to also improve as a business.
Let's talk about your overall customer service approach. Perhaps you can just tell us from a KQ perspective in today's fast paced and very competitive aviation industry, what's your customer service like?
First, if I approach this from just a strategy point of view, our vision as Kenya Airways is to be preferred and sustainable aviation group. Preferred definitely has a direct relationship with you excelling in the area of customer service or customer excellence. Otherwise, customers will not prefer you because, as you've mentioned, in this very competitive space and a very competitive industry, customers do have choices. So for us, that is the vision that drives us. So everything we do comes from that vision, and we do have some core values that drive that vision. And just probably to mention two, which I think are relevant, especially when it comes to customer excellence, is one, we have a value around safety, which is overarching. Customers will not choose Kenya Airways if they think we are not safe. And safe, it's not just aircraft being safe, but it's also, do they feel safe around the different interaction points when they are experiencing our services and our products? And then the other key value for us is customer obsession, which for us, we say in everything we do in the company, we need to put the customer first. Whether you're frontline staff or your staff in the back office, you need to understand, internalize, and appreciate that anything and everything you do touches on the customer. And we drive this through a culture transformation initiative, which we call Reignite in the company, to really drive that culture of customer first, where everybody appreciates that anything and everything we're doing is for the customer. And also appreciate that it's not every time we'll get things right. It's not always that things will go right. But what is important is, what do we do? And do we come together as a team to recover when things don't go right? So that's like the customer excellence mantra, or the drive and the vision we have for the company. And why we totally believe this is important is, again, we in a very competitive industry like airline with very small margins, you will not survive if you do not put customer first. So for us, one is it gives us that competitive advantage because we're able to differentiate ourselves and drive us to be preferred. So a customer says, I prefer to fly with Kenya Airways from Nairobi to London because of how they make me feel when I fly with them. The other one is, of course, we want to drive loyalty, repeat business. I think there are many statistics out there that show acquiring a new lead or new business is ultimately more expensive than repeat business. That's important for us. And the third one is to drive revenue growth and sales. And the fourth one, which is clear for us, is to drive that positive reputation, brand image, which of course allows growth, as I've talked about. So for me, that is why customer service, and we actually refer to customer service in a more broader way to customer excellence, because customer service is just one aspect of customer excellence.
Absolutely. And I think you have alluded to my next question, but I still would like to ask it just in case you want to
Yep.
expand your overall customer service approach a little bit more. What do you feel sets KQ apart in terms of customer service?
I would put these two things. One is our staff. From hiring, I think what we drive is that focus on customer, to when we are inducting staff, to training staff. It's all around customer excellence. And here I know we are an international airline, so we have staff all over the world. But of course, the bulk of our staff are Kenyans. We have to be proud as Kenyans because we seem to have that natural ability to give good customer service. And that's why part of our brand essence, we say we are warm, caring, friendly African, because we are actually proud of that. And that is actually something that we do take advantage of, and we feel it gives us advantage. So we leverage on that, the fact that we naturally have staff who are inclined to give good customer service, but we complement that with proper training, proper structures, tools, for the staff to be able to do an excellent job. The other aspect of what sets KQ apart when it comes to customer excellence is leadership, led by our CEO and the board. We are very clear within the company that customer obsession or customer excellence is what drives the business. In our engagement, in our meetings, in everything we do, we always ask ourselves, and we keep ourselves honest, is this what customer want? And it's not inward looking. And I know we'll get to a point where we discuss how we get customer feedback in, but we do it driven by what do customers want. So it's more outward insight. So what is a customer looking for if they want to fly from one point to another with Kenya Airways? And are we able to meet the customer need and want? So that is what drives us. And that is what we believe set us aside. We are also clear because there's this belief or sometimes confusion within a company that when you give good customer service, then that's the end. In a business, I believe it's important you look at it broadly and you make customer service, which I would call customer experience, more strategic. It needs to be more than the operational aspect of it, which is more, let's say, assisting and supporting our customers before, during, and after they've flown with us. And that for me is customer service. It is important. It's about interaction. It's about problem solving. But for me, it's a subset of customer excellence or customer experience, which is more broader and which is more strategic. And companies need to be very intentional. And us as KQ, we are very intentional about it. And this is consistently ensuring that you're exceeding customers' expectations as you deliver outstanding and memorable experiences. And which means then this is about proactive engagement. It's about personalization. I always say, as Kenya Airways, we fly 5 million people in a year. Customers do not care we fly 5 million people. Customer wants to feel like they're the only ones who fly with you. So if you treat them that way, I know you, I have time for you, this empathy, then you really start to drive that loyalty. So for me, I just wanted to make that differentiation because I think that is sometimes mixed up. Yep.
You've talked about customer touch points, and perhaps we can focus on that. When it comes to customer communications, product offerings, routes, what are some of the ways that and areas that KQ is improving on the specific customer touch points?
We've been, again, very deliberate and working on a holistic transformation plan to drive customer excellence because it is important to look at it in a coherent way and look at it from customer perspective, end to end journey, right from when a customer is probably thinking of flying, which we call inspiration, all the way to after they've taken the flight, gotten their luggage, and gone home, and maybe they want to give you feedback. So, what we've done is we've mapped customer journey again from the customer feedback and inputs. And in that journey, also using the customer inputs, we've mapped what are the gaps or pain points. And it is important to mention that customer excellence, and that's why our theme for this evening is growing towards customer excellence, is a journey. And it's a journey with no end, because every time customer needs and wants keep changing, keep evolving, new demographics or new generation. So it's something that you have to continuously keep improving, trying to be better and better, exceeding customer expectations. We've mapped the customer journey and we've identified a number of areas which we've been working on. If I start first with, of course, leveraging technology, we've redone our, which is critical touch point, because for most customers, apart from coming to make a booking, that is also where customers come to get information about Kenya Airways. So since last year, we completely changed the look and feel. We made it easy for customers to be able to come in and navigate the website. And we also enhanced the features and the information in the website. What we also did is, and we launched, I think, towards June of this year, is we also enhanced the booking flow, because we realized again from customer feedback that the booking process was not frictionless. So we made the booking process short, but also we made it more intuitive, that customer can see at every point where they are. Simple things like the session doesn't expire, even you leave your computer or you leave your phone and do something else. Small things, feedback from customers. We also enhanced that. And the other thing that we enhanced on our booking website is with adding new payment options for our customers. For example, there's a payment option that we will be about to launch, which allows customers to pay in installments, something called Lipa Protocol. And so all these enhancements, especially with the booking touch point, was one of them based from a customer feedback. The other improvements that we've made, if we look at, let's say, the airport touch point, which is also a critical time, because of course customers are spending quite a bit of time there, is we've opened a new lounge at the airport, Santi Lounge. We've also refurbished our current lounges. We have Simba Lounge and we have Pride Lounge. We've introduced live cooking in the lounge. We've also just have more comfortable furniture in the lounge, and just improved the whole amenities and look and feel in the lounge. The other thing we've done is we've also been working on the whole flow of passengers at the airport, because as we design our network, we also make sure that we are also not creating choke points within the airport to ensure that there is a seamless flow when it comes to the airport. If I just touch on another touch point, and I'm just speaking on a few things because the many things that we've been doing. When we go to onboard, again, based on customer feedback, couple of things that we've addressed is one, our in-flight entertainment system. We had gotten feedback that people want more content. They want also, let's say, the latest movies, Hollywood movies that are showing, which is something we've done. We went out there and we engaged a new provider, and we've gotten quite positive feedback about the improvements that we've done. Also, we reintroduced some time back our plating services on our long-haul flights. We've also been changing our catering services. In fact, one thing we did last week was, for the first time, we called our customers to a session where they worked with us and our suppliers and providers to choose the menu that they would want for 2025. So we incorporate customers also in our decision making. Other small improvements that we did on in-flight to just improve comfort was we also started offering mattresses on our long-haul flights to make the seats more comfortable. Because what happens when you're on a 15-hour flight from New York to Nairobi, it doesn't matter how good that seat is. At some point, it might feel not very comfortable. What now we do is we have an extra layer, very comfortable mattress that just adds an element of comfort to it. And we're looking, of course, at other enhancements on board that we can be able to do. I think the last one I'll touch on is we introduced a real-time customer communication solution, again, based on feedback. We know on average, on-time departure for airlines is about 74. It's just public information. So meaning that for most of the airlines, you will have 20 to 25% of the flights, for various reasons outside control of the airline, flights might not depart on time. But what is important for customers, and when we engaged customers, what was very clear is customers do appreciate that sometimes. It's like when you wake up in the morning, you start your car, and for some reason the car won't start, or you've got a flat tire, and you pick on some delay. That is inevitable. It's life. It's like even our bodies sometimes tell us they need a break. But what is important for customers is, how do you engage me? Do you let me know? So if I had an early morning flight to Johannesburg that departs at 7:20 in the morning, meaning I have to leave home at 4 a.m., meaning I have to wake up very early in the morning. If that flight is going to be late, please let me know, and let me know in my preferred channel of communication. So that is whether it's WhatsApp, it's an email, and that goes with personalization. So we introduced a solution that allows us now real time to communicate to customers about any changes during their flight journey. It doesn't have to be just flight delays. We also use the solution to communicate about gate where the flight is taking off from, or anything. For example, maybe we wake up and it's a very foggy day and we expect there could be traffic or there could be delays, and we can use the system to proactively communicate. The other things also, Terian, we are working on. It's a lot of things that we are working on, but a big one, I can mention maybe two products we are working on, and one we've rolled out is Kenya Airways Holidays. Again, leisure travel is on increase. In fact, if you look at Kenya, the latest tourist statistics show we are on the right trajectory as a country. We've grown by 23%. And more than 50-60% of the tourists who come to Kenya are carried by Kenya Airways. So we also see that positive impact. So we've introduced a one-stop digital solution for our customers to be able to book both flights, book hotels, and book activities. We rolled these out about a month and a half ago. So there's a lot of communication going on to create more awareness. But I can bet you, Teria, you will not get a better value for a holiday to, let's say, Mombasa, anywhere out there. If you come to our holiday website, you will get good value. So that's one. And the other one we are working on, which will drive a big change, is we are redesigning our Kenya Airways app. We know today it's mobile first, the new generation, and almost everyone is doing everything on the phone. So everything has to be on your hand. So we've embarked on, just like we've done with the website, creating completely new mobile app that will allow us to be able to engage our customer better, but will also allow us to communicate with our customers better, because with an app, easier to send notification, but it's also cost effective, unlike sending WhatsApp and sending SMSs. So I know, Teriana, I've said a lot there. I've just picked on a few things that we are doing
Yeah.
to really improve on our customer experience. But it's a well thought out plan where we look at the customer journey, and then we are very transparent, very open. We know there are areas that we are not doing well, but based on customer feedback, we address those pain points and we fix those gaps.
Julius, I went very quickly to the new Kenya Airways website, and I'm currently looking at KQ Holidays. And I see you even have a flash sale. I think that's quite an interesting one. And I'm sure those who have not checked it out will have some time to do that, with some really exciting destinations as well. Mauritius, Dubai, some more Mauritius, from really amazing prices. And I also see that there is a new self-rebooking platform. Could you tell us a little bit about what it is and why KQ has deployed that?
Yep. I think I spoke a bit about disruptions, and disruptions being sometimes inevitable, but also being really a source of anxiety and a friction point with our customers, because whenever a disruption happens, and it can be for various reasons, and customers, of course, quickly try to reach the airline to be able to get options. My flight is delayed. What option do you have for me? So what we've done is we've rolled out a self-accommodation solution for customers, very easy to use on our website. And this is driven first by the fact that a lot of the customers, and in today's day and age, customers want to be in control of a lot of the things they do. So they want to, just the same way we see a shift from before, people would go to a travel agent to make a booking. For some people, not everyone, because we still need travel agents. For some people, they prefer after office when I go home, and then I can just sit around with my kids and my wife or my husband, and we book the holiday or we book wherever we are going to go. So we see a lot of that trend. So also for now, disruptions, customers now have the ability, if for any unforeseen reason we delay, let's say, a Mombasa flight, now the customer will have a choice on the website or on the KQ app to be able to choose the flight that they prefer. So they rebook themselves at no cost. And why we are doing this, it's because we've realized normally when there is a disruption or something happens, then of course everyone is trying to call our call center. Irrespective of the number of agents and staff you have there, you start to create a bottleneck where then somebody has to wait for long for something that they could actually be able to do it themselves. That's why we are very excited implemented, and there's a lot of study that has been done out there showing a very high satisfaction for airlines that have been able to deploy this solution and deploy it well. So it's a new solution. We're very excited about it. We've been communicating it to our customers, and we'll further enhance it once we also roll out the new application, where customers will just simply get a notification on the mobile app and they can do the rebooking themselves, and they can pick whichever flight they prefer. If they don't want to go today because maybe they prefer to just go another day, they can do that at no cost. So Terian, that's the reaccommodation solution that we've rolled out recently for our customers.
Let's talk a little bit about customer challenges. We've seen a number of complaints about flight delays, cancellations, and I know you've told us a lot about some of the changes and the improvements that KQ has been doing over the last couple of months. Perhaps you can tell us when it comes to delays and cancellations, because that is clearly a pain point and has been a pain point in the past. What causes these delays? And how is KQ working to change that situation?
As a company, we are transparent where there are challenges. We recognize the challenges. And what is important is what are you doing about the challenges? Of course, first, maybe to put it in context, delays and disruptions are not uncommon in our industry. Again, going back to the statistic I shared, the average on-time departure for airlines is, I think for 2023 was about 74%, meaning about a quarter of the flights for reasons, and I'll share some of those reasons, do not depart on time. Some of the reasons are, let's say, outside our control, and some of the reasons are within our control. Some of the reasons that ultimately drives a delay or ends up with us delaying a flight. Sometimes it could be weather related, weather conditions. It could be rain, it could be fog. Safety, remember, is paramount. Of course, even for customers, when they talk of customer excellence, they expect you to be a safe, reliable airline. So if we wake up in the morning and here at JKI, there's fog, so visibility is limited. Depending on the standards that are defined worldwide, sometimes we are not able to land, and that would cause disruptions. Also, aircraft maintenance. Sometimes we have unexpected technical issues with an aircraft. I think it's good to recognize that aircrafts are machines. Sometimes you will find that there's an issue and they can't be able to fly because, of course, again, for safety reasons, that has to be fixed fast. Also, airport operations in a constrained airport. Sometimes we've got issues with either the baggage system. I think like recently we had an issue with refueling. There was no fuel at the airport. That leads to delay. Sometimes also staff issues like industrial actions or strikes, crew availability for various reasons. And for some other airports that are slot restricted and very busy, like Mumbai, where it's a very busy airport using one runway. So you will find that it is very easy to pick delays. So these are some of the reasons that, of course, outside our control. There are, of course, also reasons within our control, which we normally bundle them as operational efficiency. How coordinated are we as a company, especially in the area of operations? Things like our turnaround times, how we scheduled our network to make sure that the flow and connectivity of our passengers is seamless. So that's within our control. And there's a lot of work that we do to ensure that we are minimizing delays from things that we can control. And then for things that we can't control, it's just how do you manage those delays? Indeed, I think especially the last couple of weeks, it's been tough for us, and tough because relative to how we were doing last year, we actually even won an award. I think we were the second most punctual and reliable airline in Africa. And this year, it's been a bit of a challenge, but we've taken a number of actions to improve our on time performance. And I can confirm in the last 3 weeks, we've seen a big improvement, more than 50% improvement. We've reduced flight delays by more than 50-60%, which we are also now starting to get, again, good feedback from our customers. And again, how have we done this? We've addressed this by making sure that we've got aircrafts available to fly. We had shared some time back that we acquired an aircraft. We leased an aircraft to just help with operations, and that aircraft operates to Dubai. We've also internally been working on driving higher staff productivity, making sure especially our flight crew staff are available so that we also minimize especially delays that are within our control. Again, Terian, delays outside our control, we try as much as possible to manage by being very proactive and communicating to the customers.
Another customer challenge that we've seen is lost and late baggage.
Yes.
Of course, an issue that comes up from time to time. Perhaps you can tell us what KQ is doing to address that particular challenge when it comes to lost or delayed luggage on the ground?
Baggage is a big one. In fact, when we get feedback from our customers, one of the key attributes they share on that is important for them when they choose and fly an airline is, of course, baggage, how their bag is handled, will they get it on time? And if they don't get it on time, is the airline responsive and available, of course, to make sure that they reunite the bag with the passenger as quickly as possible? In terms of baggage, we're having challenges with certain specific destinations. And this is because of the aircraft type that we operate to those destinations, especially where we are operating our smaller aircraft Embraers. How have we addressed this? Because we've seen a reduction in baggage that are delayed. One is ensuring that we are planning for bigger aircraft where possible. Two, we also supplement on some of the routes passenger operation with a cargo freighter because now we have two freighter services. And then three, which is more a longer term action, is we have a fleet strategy where we are bringing in bigger aircraft that also ensures that they meet the needs and wants of our customers. But apart from that, what we are also doing, which I think is what is important for customers, is enhancing the communication and our responsiveness when customers do not get their bag or when their bag is delayed, because customers just want to understand how quickly are you able to reunite my bag. And the third one is also we've empowered our frontline staff to also be able to offer the fast care, the fast, what we call fast need within airline industry, because sometimes when a bag is delayed and it's coming a couple of hours later, someone might have that fast need. And so we've empowered our staff to be able to do that on the spot. We're also working with third parties to innovate around that area, because ultimately the solution that would really ease completely the customer pain point is to be able to track your luggage. Some airlines call it follow my luggage. You know, what DHL does today, when you order for something, you're able to tell where is my parcel at any time. When you order something with Amazon, you're able to tell that. So we are working, leveraging on technology with some third parties, and that is one of the solutions that we are looking to deploy in future, where real-time customer will be able to tell where their luggage is at any time. But it's something that has top priority for us. But the immediate one, Terian, is actually ensuring that we are available and we communicate to our customers where their bags are, and we ensure that we reunite the bags with the customers as quickly as possible.
I think that follow my luggage idea, if I could call it that, is something that will definitely make a difference. And we are looking forward to seeing that getting deployed onto KQ. So thanks so much for that update. We've moved pretty fast down our conversation, Julius, and we are coming now to look at the future outlook of KQ. Looking ahead, perhaps you can tell us some initiatives or goals that Kenya Airways has in place to continue enhancing customer service. And as you have mentioned before, it's a very competitive space, both from an East Africa perspective, a regional perspective, and a global perspective as well. And it takes somebody to choose, if I may use your own words. So, what are some initiatives or goals that Kenya Airways has put in place?
Looking into the future, it's really driving now that excellence. I would say what we've been able to achieve so far is really setting the foundation, but now we need to scale up and we need to innovate more in the area of customer excellence. And if I just start with leveraging technology, so there are many initiatives that we have within the business where we are looking, especially into the future, leveraging technology to improve how we serve our customers. I know there's a lot of talk about, let's say, AI and what opportunities that probably will bring to the business. You've seen like disruptions with chat GPT, making work easier to a certain extent, also infusing partly AI to our call centers, to our websites, to the chats, so that customers are really able to get real time information 24/7 in the language that they prefer. So, that is one big area that we are looking at. Also, of course, looking forward, it is important, of course, also to grow the network for Kenya Airways. So we are also looking at expansion. We will be introducing new destination because that is also part of what customers want from KQ. So we'll be flying to more destinations in Africa, but also more destinations outside Africa. We'll also be driving a lot more partnerships. In fact, internally, the theme that we had for Customer Service Week was caring beyond journey. Of course, the international theme is above and beyond, but what we said was relevant and it was more internal within KQ was caring beyond journey. It's because we want to offer a lot more value to our customers outside travel. And how we will do this is especially bringing in partners around our loyalty program, which we launched, I think it was last year. In fact, Rian, you were in that launch, and thank you so much. And we've seen really a lot of good traction. And thanks to a lot of our customers, our membership is growing. We are quickly approaching more than 200,000 members. And even more important is the partnerships that we are able to bring to drive value beyond travel for our customers. We've signed up partnerships with hotels where people get discounts when they go stay in certain hotel chains. They also earn points and they can redeem with those hotels. We've done the same with eateries. We've done the same with telecom companies. We are about to do a big launch towards end of the year or early next year with a bank where we will roll out a Kenya Airways core brand. And so these are some of the enhancements that we will bring for our customers. We are also, as I mentioned, looking at fleet renew as Kenya Airways financial position strengthen. We are very proud and happy, and we thank all of our customers that for the first time in 10 years, we were able to post a profit for the first half year of 2024 because a financially sound company is important also for future investment. So we will also be investing in new fleet, new aircraft, and alongside we'll be doing also cabin refresh. And this is looking forward, bit medium term. Of course, something I know you will ask is Wi-Fi. I think we get a lot of questions from our customers. When are you introducing Wi-Fi? Again, it is on top of the list in our strategy. We know today in digital connected world, our Wi-Fi become almost a necessity. And if you look especially at Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, some of us, when we're on that, we feel like it's digital detox. And I normally have a bit of back and forth with different generations. Say they want to remain connected. And I say, I'm not sure I want to be connected. I might get into trouble for saying this. I'm getting some work from my boss, but I'm on a flight. My wife is telling me something. Yes, but Wi-Fi is critical. But it's also, of course, the opportunities it offers. When we think even things like knowing where your bag is, baggage tracking. So even when you're on board on a Wi-Fi enabled aircraft, probably you're able to do this, especially when we really connect all the customer points digitally. And that's why Wi-Fi is important. I think the other, looking into future, I think enhancement that is very critical is the airport. The airport must be enhanced because I know we are talking about Kenya Airways, but airport is part of that customer journey and part of that customer experience. And for most passengers, they don't differentiate, especially when they're flying with us and they're here in Nairobi. They don't differentiate what maybe doesn't work or discomfort because of airport infrastructure and because of KQ. If boarding gates are crowded because we didn't design well the boarding gates for boarding or disembarking to the customer, that's an airline pain. Of course, Kenya Airport Authorities is a key stakeholder for us. We are engaged at different levels, but since you are asking me about future outlook, that is one area also where we must get a better experience in our airport and at all the touch points. And I know there are discussions going on, but I don't want to get into that. But what we expect for Kenya Airways and for our customers is for that airport to be enhanced and the experience to be better.
Before we get to the parting shot, if there is something that I may have left out that you feel is important to share or to highlight, please do, and then we'll get into our parting shot.
No, I think you've covered it. I think the only one I wanted to touch on was, and I alluded to it a bit, was especially what we are doing with our staff internally, especially on board in flight. Because I must be honest, we get a lot of we get a lot of positive feedback about our in-flight staff. Most customers tell us when the doors close, they really get a very authentic and very caring is on board. And even when things don't go right, the staff on board will always have a solution at hand. And that's partly because of a number of deliberate actions that we've taken right from hiring. We have a training school, what we call Pride Center, where we train Pride Stars. We train them not just for Kenya Airways. So these are people who will later become in-flight crew. So we train for KQ, but we also train for the market. So we also ensure that when we are hiring, we hire people with certain attributes and attributes that are customer focused. There's also a lot of training and refreshers, ongoing training. And we've also empowered the team so that when they're on board, we tell them they're the CEOs because those doors have closed, the aircraft is up there. 40,000 or 36,000 feet, they need to do what they can to win back the customer or to recover the situation. And we also feel the pride in them because passion is very important also for the staff. So maybe that's just the other thing that I wanted to add because we continue to see very good recognition. I think it was in 2022 we got 4 recognition from World Travelers Award. Last year we also got some recognition. This year we do expect, I think they're yet to announce, but we do expect to also be recognized because indeed when it comes to in-flight, we do a really good job, a world-class job we can measure up with many of the world-class airlines.
And I do agree with you, not just because I'm a big fan of KQ, but I really do agree, especially when you travel globally. I guess the Kenyan hospitality really does shine through. As we get to the parting shot now, Julius, what message would you like to share with customers of Kenya Airways about KQ's commitment to them, not just during customer service week, but beyond the customer service week?
First is, of course, to express my gratitude just on behalf of the leadership, our CEO, just to express gratitude to our customers for their continued trust and loyalty, and to give them a commitment that, yes, are aware that sometimes things don't go right, but we have a holistic plan to continuously fix whatever issues come along and to keep moving forward the company to give an exceptional customer experience. And some of the areas that we are really focusing on, especially as we move towards customer excellence, is making sure that we're improving at every interaction, the experience, to make sure that it's a positive and memorable experience. We are doing this by, again, ensuring that we are hiring the right people, we are training people, but we also empower especially frontline staff because at midnight at the airport when something goes wrong, Julius Nairo is not available. So if we are not empowering the frontline staff who are there handling our customers and giving our customers the service, that then we are not doing what is right. And we do this especially with a lot of empathy and professionalism. The other commitment that I can give our customers is we are driving reliability and safety because we understand safety and comfort is a priority of our customers, but it's also a top priority for us. And we'll continue investing, especially in technology, in new fleet, better aircrafts to ensure smooth and secure journey, but also better infrastructure, not just aircraft. The third commitment is on innovation. Again, customer excellence is a continuous journey, but as we have plans to address whatever gaps that come along, or then we do it in innovative way, but we also do it in collaborative way. And here with innovation, also we cover, because we do understand also when you talk of customer excellence today, also you cannot not talk about sustainability because a lot of our customers do want to be close to brands that are taking care of not just the environment, but also the social welfare of the communities around them, which is something as Kenya Airways we are doing. We've demonstrated this, and we are not doing this to just tick the box. I think it was last week where we opened up Pyro Diesel plant, recycling plastic to get diesel that we will use for our vehicles at the airport. And we also opened a water bottling plant that will serve Kenya Airways needs, our customer needs in the planes, but also we have plans in future to serve also the communities around us with clean water that is affordable. So innovation and sustainability is key for us. And then my parting shot is ensure and commit to our customers that we are listening to you. Your feedback is invaluable to us, and we'll keep listening and making improvements to ensure that customer satisfaction is ultimately a goal that we achieve. So those would be for me, Terian, my parting shot, but also just to thank our customers for continuously making Kenya Airways their preferred airline.
Thank you so much, Julius. It's been a very enlightening conversation, just giving us an opportunity to look at KQ's overall service offerings, customer touch points, and all the improvements that you have been doing, not just for the customer service week, but for the airline as a whole. So thank you so much, Julius. I have been speaking with Julius Thairu. Julius is the Chief Commercial and Customer Officer at Kenya Airways. Of course, we are stuck in the middle of Customer Service Week, which is an internationally recognized event held during the first week of October, dedicated to appreciating the importance of excellent customer service and recognizing the contributions of service staff who provide some of these exceptional experiences that we are looking forward to with Kenya Airways. So thank you so much, Julius. I'd also like to thank the Mwango Capital, the Mango Spaces team, for putting together this incredible conversation. I'd like to thank each and everyone who has also made time to listen in and be part of the spaces, sharing your thoughts as well on Twitter and on social media. For those we have been able to answer, and some of those have been able to include into my questions, and those that we haven't, we will share directly with the KQ Customer Excellence team. So thank you all so very much. I'd like to wish you a wonderful evening. I know there's so much happening in Kenya tonight. We do not take it for granted that you did make time to be here on the spaces with us. So for now, it's good night and God bless, and we'll see you at the next Mwango Spaces. My name is Terry Ann Chebet. It's been an absolute honor to be part of this conversation. Good night and God bless.
Thank you.